So, welcome to last day. So, today we will discuss what are chakras from a physical life point of view, not the energetic, esoteric, but what are chakras in our day to day from a healing perspective, day to day, how they are affecting our lives. And we will also discuss what is role of law of attraction in manifesting our desires and what is it that I find is the missing link why so many people try that doing visualizing or stuff and why it doesn't work. I will just share my point of view about it. Okay, so first of all, we will see what are chakras from a physical point of view. So every chakra, there are seven chakras. Abhi we're just staying in physical body. So there are seven chakras or seven major chakras, and these are called the energy centers. Now, like I always used to like to say that every organ in our body is doing some physical action for the body and also doing the emotions and thoughts related to it. So if you are looking, your eyes are doing the work of looking at things, looking at colors, looking at pictures, looking at images, looking at the world, looking at life, looking at future. Eyes are the most complex because it's like sixth dimension of our being. So so we not only look at physical objects, but we also look at abstract concepts. I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at uh, beauty. I'm looking at uh, I'm looking at generosity. So we're not just looking, generosity is not a thing, but an act of generosity is something that I am looking at. I am seeing generosity. I am seeing kindness. And every chakra has a element or has a dimension of other chakra. So all these chakras are basically uh, energetic functions of our self, of our whole self, not just the physical or mental or emotional, but whole self. Here, the self is uh, divided into seven layers. So every chakra has a physical component. That physical component is called endocrine glands. So all the endocrine glands in the body are somehow somewhere aligned with these chakras. The second or the emotional component is the emotional, the function that gland is doing and the emotions related to that thing in our life. Third is the thought or mental aspect or ego or what we call stories of our lives. So every chakra has that third dimension of um, the thoughts, processing the thoughts around it. Fourth dimension is love and worthiness and air element. So every chakra has a dimension of worthiness around it, um, and love around it. Fifth chakra is expression, creative expression, trust, and integrity. So, so with every chakra goes some element of all these three things. This is vision. Vision is interesting. It's seeing. It's not just seeing the outer world. It's seeing the subtle world. It's seeing the abstract world. Like I said, we see kindness, we see generosity, and it is also seeing the unseen world. The this is also light. जैसे root chakra is earth element. Second chakra is earth element is the physical body, tissues and bones and muscles and everything. The second chakra, sacral, which is on the lower abdomen, is the fluid element. Fluids are emotions. They flow, they have a momentum. They start at some place and they finish at some place. The third chakra is fire. Fire is so with each higher chakra, the element gets subtler and subtler.
सॉरी
Fire
दैट
element,
फर्स्ट चक्रा क्या था वो
first
सुना
chakra,
नहीं मुझे
root chakra is tail of the your spine.
या हाँ तो व्हाट इज दैट चक्रा है
The element of that chakra is physical body, matter.
ओके
So matter, then liquid, solid matter is the first chakra. Second is the liquid and the emotions. Third is the uh, fire and the thoughts or the mental aspect. Fourth is the air and the even subtler aspects of love and worthiness. The next one is sound. So this chakra is all about having a say and being heard and being able to having a say and having a voice. You have your own expression, and the element of this is sound. So this is element of light. We see from our eyes, and light has a quality of not just the physical light. Light is also the quality of knowing something, the light of awareness. Not knowing, when we say I don't know, I'm in the dark. I know I'm enlightened. It's light. It lights up here. It's light of knowing, and this is consciousness. So most the according to what the differentiation, Hindu scriptures come here and call it moksha, that I'm enlightened. Now I have light of knowing and awareness. And this is consciousness. This is the quality of the container of awareness. We'll get into that discussion later in the Q&A. But for now, we will discuss the physical aspect of all these chakras, which is the endocrine system. So with each chakra, there is a gland associated. And if you know, if you even if you don't know, if you Google what is this gland doing, you know what this chakra is functioning for, or what this chakra is doing emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or sound wise or light wise. You don't need to go into all the aspects, but you get a big idea just by looking at the three lower physical dimensions. Everything that we experience in physical life, in our physical body, it has got to be something with the lower three chakras. And it is not just one chakra involved in anything, but there can be multiple chakras involved. So the root chakra is associated with adrenal gland. This chakra produces hormones that regulate metabolism, immune system, blood pressure, response to stress, and other essential functions. This is the dictionary definition of this chakra. But this is the root of our being. This is the root of our being in the physical plane, having a physical body. Having a physical body comes with its own inherent danger. Physical body is prone to weather, temperature, pressure, environmental conditions, um, others, and others are on other chakras also, but the physical aspects of our environment and the like, if there is an earthquake or if there is, and this chakra also represents our own physical life, like my family, my home. Your home is your root chakra. Some people are very fond of decorating their homes. That is a well functioning good root chakra.
Oh,
Some
I
people,
like that.
huh,
Okay.
some people are very removed from their homes, and they do not get bothered by whether we have everything or not, whether the home is well kept or not. That is a function of root chakra. So how well grounded you are, you can look when you look at a person's home, you can get some idea. When you look at some person's body, you can get an idea, the structure of the body. That those are the details I will go into later, but for this we will stick to the basic functionality of each chakra. So we know what this chakra is doing, and we will also see what manifestation is and how we can use chakras for manifestation. So this chakra's only concern, or the biggest concern, it has many concerns, but its biggest concern is survival, whether I get to live or not. When we say survival, um, it's fear response. It's fear response, and it is the response of instinctual actions. When there is something barreling down at us, we don't stand and think whether I should save my life or not. We just run on the side. So there is a stone barreling down on our side. We just move to the other side. So that is very instinctual. It's very fast. It's the most primitive part of our brain that is doing those functions. Something is coming directly at our eye, and we are conscious. We will blink our eye. I mean, it's It's a part of the brain that is in least of our control, what we think of our conscious control. Second chakra is the navel chakra, which we said water and associated with emotions. But this chakra also has a physical component. What is the physical component? The physical component of this chakra is ovaries and testicles. Ovaries produce eggs into the female reproductive system during the menstrual cycle, and they also produce female hormones, estrogen and progesterone. The testicles are responsible for making testosterone, which is male hormone in men, and producing sperm. Yeah. So this chakra, so the emotional function of this chakra is related to sex. How much we are uh, in a relation where we are experiencing healthy sex. This is also bonding with the other. This is also present very much in the mammals. This is the mammalian brain part, and we are. This chakra is also represented by, like in mammals, even in monkeys and uh, other mammals, they have this sense of looking at facial expressions that affect them. If one monkey is angry or something, rest of the folk knows, that rest of the crowd, rest of their pack, I don't know what is group of monkeys called, the rest of the monkeys know what it is about. And mm, this is where emotions reside. So this chakra's major concern is sex or pleasure. Sex is not just the physical act of intercourse, but it is also pleasure. So when we come to manifestation, okay, we'll just discuss in brief here, and then we'll do a meditation at the end. So when we consider root chakra for manifestation, so root chakra's concern will be, is it safe? So if you have an image of what is it that you want to accomplish, first concern from your body is the outcome safe? Is the process safe? Am I going to be okay through the process? Like yesterday we were discussing, the biggest thing that comes up is, with my evolution, is something going to happen to my family? How is, so that is the safety aspect. That is the first basic concern for any goal that you think you want, and also hindrance. Because if that is not clear and you have not worked on it or let it go, then this will keep it blocked. Until it is safe to move forward, the energy will not move up. The manifestation will not happen. Second chakra is emotions. Will it be pleasurable? If it is going to be painful, then there is going to be an inherent resistance from your system, because the concern of this chakra is pleasure. So is it going to be pleasurable? Is the outcome going to be pleasurable? And also, is the process going to be pleasurable? You want to become a pianist, say world famous pianist, but you don't like to play piano. So it's not going to happen. Because unless you like the process, I mean, there may be still an exception, somebody who did, but they hated it in the childhood, but they over a period of time came to love playing the piano. But when we are doing this conscious creation or manifestation, it has to cross the second barrier of, is it pleasurable? Third chakra, the air element or the Manipur or the gut area, solar plexus. The physical aspect of this chakra is the gland is pancreas. Pancreas, what is it doing? It plays an essential role in converting the food we eat into fuel for the body's cells. The pancreas has two main functions: exocrine function that help in digestion, and endocrine function that regulates blood sugar. Emotionally, what is this doing? This area is all stomach and intestines. So emotionally, what this chakra is doing is digesting our experiences. Physically, this area is digesting our food, but emotionally, this area, the gut level area, is digesting our emotions, and is also This chakra, the fire element, is also a storehouse of all the memories we've lived ever in any life, whether we're consciously aware of not. And this is a very, very, if you look at it physically, gut is a very complex microbiome. There are more outside, more microbes than your own cells in this area, especially than any other. So there is a lot of outside influence, and that is very natural. This chakra is like an elephant. It never forgets anything. It remembers everything. कभी भी कुछ भी हुआ था. Even in dream, if something happened, morning you wake up, you don't remember the dream, but this chakra remembers. It can feel scary, but it is not scary. So, so the main concern of this chakra is whether the thing, the goal, the objective aligns with my belief system, aligns with my story, aligns with my identity. If, say, I want to become a very famous healer, but that is not my identity. My identity is I am a very private person. I am very introvert. I don't like to interact with more than 10 people at a time. So that goal is not, so this, it will not pass this third gate or the third condition, which is my solar plexus, because it does not go very well with my belief system. When my belief system is in alignment with the goal, what I think, what I believe um, is in the same direction, then you pass on to the next chakra, which is the heart chakra. Now, heart in itself is a muscle, and the gland associated is the upper heart, which is the thymus. So, so heart has a lot of emotional function to do, and also this area has a lot of um, physical function to do. It distributes blood into the system, and this gland, the thymus gland, is the seat of immune system, like we discussed. And uh, this this whole, as you start paying attention, you understand this whole metaphoric map of the body. What the body is doing at physical level, the same organs are doing those things on emotional and mental and other levels. Emotional, mental are very obvious in our experience. Identity things, how they're making it come out as a creative expression, these are not very obvious. These are very even subtler than that. So we'll see how the major functions of it. So the heart is again about love and worthiness. This is how we connect with others. These are our arms. We hug people. We tell them we love them, or we even ask for things with our hands, whether we are spreading our hands or not. But when we ask someone something, it feels like I'm asking for something. Spreading my hands. Sorry. So the thymus gland is how we interacting with the other people is also a function of how well are we protecting ourselves from them, how well we have defined boundaries with others. We have boundaries at all levels. Physical level boundary, skin is the boundary, root chakra level. Emotional level, the boundary is this is okay with me, this is not okay with me. Then intellectual level boundary is um, I will not I will not condemn, criticize, or push you into some other belief system. You don't push into some other belief system. I have my own experiences, and I have my own reasons to believe what I believe. At this level, boundaries are more around love. If I say something to this person, if I put my foot down with this person, then I will not be loved. I will not be accepted. So that's what this uh, chakra's boundaries come around. And this chakra on a physical level is doing a lot of things, is nourishing the whole body, every cell of the body with the blood that it is sending. At emotional level, it is nourishment with the love. Again, the like we discussed, love on Swadhisthana is affection wala love. It's more of an exchange. You love me, I love you. Love at this level is not emotion, it is a state of being. It is non-interfering and it is not emotional. So love in this state is a state of unconditional, peaceful bliss kind of state. Okay, we go to the next chakra. The gland associated the physical aspect is thyroid gland. How many times we see people saying that I have a thyroid issue? The thyroid issue, when you look closely at their life, if someone is having a thyroid problem, they don't feel that they have a voice or they have a say. It may not be in their current setup, but that is how they grew up. They must have had that issue since childhood, and for now, maybe it's all in their mind. They are totally welcome in the family, and we are encouraging them to share their opinion and listen to them. But they may be carrying it from their childhood, and these things, these illnesses, they don't manifest it like आज सोचा और कल हो गया. Like you think about it tomorrow, and tomorrow you have a thyroid issue. No, they take like decades to form. By default, our body is always trying to maintain homeostasis, the state of balance, is always trying to fix things, is always trying to make amends, is always trying to make up for the things. Like you eat some crap, you eat a lot of uh, junk food that is going to be very difficult for your system to digest. Even then, your system is trying to, you know, mm, is trying to deal with it, and is trying to make its best use of resources. It's a huge chemical factory inside us. So at every point, body is trying to make the most of the situation and trying to cope with the situation and still try to maintain balance. Even for a common cold to physically manifest in the body, there has to be at least 10 systems out of alignment for that common cold to happen. So think of cancers and tumors. There are like hundreds of systems go out of sync over the years. Then something like that physical manifests in the physical body. So the function of this chakra is to creatively express yourself, and also to, so, and the concern of this chakra um, is this my creative genius? If my creative genius lies in being a healer, and I try to excel in my corporate job, so my throat chakra gets choked because it's just not flowing the energy. It's not my creative genius. I am good at that work, but that's somehow it's not my creative genius. And everybody has some creative genius. It may be buried under layers and layers of things and emotions and stories from lower chakras. Third eye chakra, this is connected to the pituitary gland, which is inside the head, is also called the master gland of it's sare hormones. All hormones are um, produced, controlled, different processes in the body, and it seems the body needs and sends signal to different organs and glands throughout the body to regulate their function and maintain an appropriate environment. So it is not just the body that is sending signals to the brain that it is cold, put on a jacket, it is hot, turn on the AC, but it is also brain sending messages to all. This is what nerves do. So this chakra and this chakra is the brain also. The brain is the nervous system. The nervous system also includes our spine. All chakras are aligned in the spine, and the spine and brain together make, and the nerves together make the nervous system. Nervous system is the commanding system that controls every other system in the body, which is also processing our thoughts, the conscious thoughts and also the unconscious thoughts, all the functions of the body that we don't have to think and worry about: breathing, digesting food, processing in the liver, and doing other things. We don't need to consciously bother about that. Everything, all of those things are controlled by brain, whether you know about it consciously or not. But something you eat is going to get digested. You cannot tell your brain to stop digesting it. So these were some basic broad um, basic broad description of chakras. And if you can uh, if you can let the energy flow in at least lower 3 or 4 chakras up till heart, the thing has a big chance of manifesting in the world. 90% or even 95% of the problems of the world are the lower 3 chakras. People say they keep working on हम third eye पे काम कर रहे हैं, we are working on the crown chakra and all, but unless the lower 3 chakras are clean, um, there is going to be a struggle in manifesting. That is why a lot of spiritual masters who have very highly developed upper chakras, they explain things very nicely. They are very good at giving gyan, and lot of spiritual gurus then they get scandalized in sexual harassment and thing because their lower chakras are not fully transcended or not fully um, they're not fully processed. Not that there is anything bad with sex, but projecting something else, but you doing something else is a dichotomy, is a paradox in their system. So that is why they get into all those things, and they most of them have a power play going on. How much funds they collect, how much influence they have in politics or in industry, how many big shot followers they have. So that is all power in the outside world. A true saint will not give a hoot to who is following them or not. How much money do they have? Do they even have food to eat or not? Anyways, things apart. So we will discuss a little bit about law of attraction. Law of attraction, as we know in the pop culture, says anything you think, believe, you receive. I disagree. There is a lot more complexity to it. There is a law of resonance. Whatever you are thinking and feeling, that creates some kind of vibration, and similar vibration you resonate with the world at large. That is true. That is a law of resonance, and it's a law of physics. It's got nothing to do with esoteric principle. You must, maybe you remember in not even high school, in middle school, when we learned about tuning forks. So what our physics teacher did, he handed one tuning fork to 8 10 people to each person. One had a 10 hertz, the other person had a 20 hertz, the other person had a 30 hertz tuning fork, and so on. And he said, my now my secret is I will not tell you what is the frequency of my tuning fork, but when I play, the person who has the same frequency will know because their tuning fork will start vibrating. So he played something maybe 30 40 whatever, I don't remember, but one person's eyes lit up. Oh yes, it's same, and the person checked. Oh, it's 50 hertz. So that is law of resonance. It happens whether you want it or not. So on a conscious surface level, when we think and believe and feel something, we attract that kind of vibration from the world at large. And for small things, you can manifest, like parking spot or other things, chota, small things. But when it comes to deep desires and deep yearnings, you have to realize that deep yearnings and deep desires are born out of a lack or limitation. A person who has been hurt by, say, a person who has not been hurt by poverty in this life or another will not have an ambition to create an empire or a million or $1 billion, because that's not an issue with them. A person who has not have been hurt by physical issues will not become a fitness freak. So that desire to become a fitness pro, or so this person, that desire, all desires stem from some lack or limitation. And as long as you do not, in the first place, let go of that desire, you do not create the opposite, because there is an inherent resistance. On the surface, thinking and feeling, you can imagine big mansion, this this wonderful relationship and this, but deep down in your lower chakras is sitting the exact contradiction of what you want, because that contradiction itself is the birthplace of this desire. So I think it should be asked, It should be aligned, then align with that desire in the at least lower 3 4 chakras should be asked and then align. Then believing happens itself by itself because now your Manipur is in line with it. So then you first you ask, then you align, and then you receive an inspiration to act. Not just receive the final output, but you receive the inspiration to act. Things are moved in our physical world by action. That action may be coming out of this fear of failure, that I have to keep doing something so I don't fail, so I don't fail. And you may reach success, you may not reach success, that is immaterial, but that action is coming out of fear. That action could also be coming out of non fear or love. And when you have completely let go of the lack part of it or the failure, you have made yourself completely okay and open to failure, then your actions towards success will be of a different quality, will not be out of fear but out of love, or this love, not the emotional love. Even also the action will be pleasurable, and you will manifest it with much more ease and effortless, and it will feel joyful because your Manipur is in alignment, no, your Swadhisthana, which for which the chakra, the only concern is it going to be pleasurable, is the outcome going to be pleasurable, is the process going to be pleasurable, even the idea that it's going to be pleasurable for the people around me. If what I am doing is going to piss people off in my family or in my bigger social circle, then you've got some resistance to deal with, and the actions may not be out of happy freedom, pure joy or lightness, or what is it, effortless love kind of a energy. So law of resonance is real, is true, is a law of physics, but law of attraction, how it is being projected, like it's been sold like a wishful fill, what is it called, wishful thinking. It works for a while, may work for small things, but when it comes to your deep yearnings, deep wantings, then you got to do the work, the emotional work, the mental work that goes with it. So I will we will take some questions.